Okay, today's lesson is on percent increase and decrease. A percent of change is described how much a quantity has changed, expressed as a percent of the original quantity. When a quantity increases, the percent of change is called a percent increase. When it does just the opposite, when the quantity decreases, it's called a percent decrease. This formula is going to be used throughout this video to determine the percentage of change. You will determine the change by taking the larger number and subtracting from it the smaller number, and always dividing by the original. So let's look at some examples. In month 1, we can do 15 push-ups, but in month 2, we can do 30. Also in month 1, we can do 100 crunches, and in month 2, we can do 114 crunches. So you can see the differences here. So just like in your PE class, you would hope to improve on your push-ups and the number of crunches that you can do. So let's calculate the percentage of increase. Remember, in the numerator, we want to find the difference. So in month 2, we could do 30. Since that's the larger number, we're going to put that down first in the numerator, and we're going to subtract from it the smaller number. You always divide by the original amount. Now in this case, the original amount is where we started from, the 15. So 30 take away 15 is 15. Then we're going to divide by 15. 15 divided by 15, of course, is 1. Now this is written in a decimal format. We need to turn it into a percentage. The decimal is right here, so by moving it 2 places to the right, we see that we had a 100% increase in the number of push-ups that we did. Now, one thing about percentage of increase or decrease, you always need to actually indicate what it was. So this was an increase because we went from 15 push-ups to 30. So that's actually good. When we increased the number of push-ups that we could do, it is considered an increase. Let's take a look at the crunches. We also increased this by 14. So in your numerator, you would be taking the larger number, subtract the smaller number, and always dividing by what you started with. The original amount in this case is 100. 114 take away 100 is 14, divided by the original is 100. You will get 0.14, but we need it in a percentage, so we're going to move it 2 places to the right, and this is a 14% increase. Let's take a look at some more examples. In the second example, the force of gravity on the moon is different from the force of gravity on Earth. This means that an object has a different weight on the moon than it does on Earth. By what percent does an astronaut's weight decrease on the moon? So in this case, our original amount, what we started with on Earth, is 154. On the moon, we weigh 25.5 pounds. So we, again, want to find the difference. In the numerator, it's 154, take away 25.5. We always want to divide by the original, whatever you started with. So that is 154 in this example. 154 take away 25.5 is 128.5. We're going to use our calculators and divide that by 154. Now you are going to get a decimal, so it's 0.8344, and it continues on. Since we want to round this, and let's round it to the nearest hundredth for now, we always move it 2 places when we want to turn a decimal into a percent, and that would be 83.44. And if I rounded it to the nearest whole percentage, it would be 83%. And this time, since we went from 154 down to 25.5, this is a decrease. And again, I just rounded to the nearest whole percentage. Let's take a look at one more example. A savings account increases from $250 to $260. What is the percent increase of the savings account? So again, in the numerator, let's find the difference between the two numbers. That should always be positive. So it's the larger number subtracting the smaller. And we are going to divide by 250 because that's what we started with. That's the original amount. So in this example, this would be $10 divided by 250. You should get 0.04. Turning that into the equivalent percentage by moving it 2 places to the right, it would be a 4% increase. And there you have it, percent increase and decrease.